Hey, to start off with my magazine, I had to obviously take the pictures, which was quite hard shooting because there was not much light in the room. So I had to, on Photoshop, make it brighter, which worked well for me, so that was good. And then next thing I do, I was thinking about what title I'd use for my magazine, and I chose Sway because I felt it was jazzy and went well with the theme, the genre. So then I had to play around with the types of. I've not used Photoshop in a while. Yeah, I had to play around with the writing of the title because I wanted it to stand out, but I also wanted it to be jazzy. So I chose this one because it looks a bit like a musical note. So I thought that went well with the jazz feel. Next thing I did, I was sorting out where CarlaGarratt would go because I have such a busy picture. It looks weird in certain places, and hopefully, well, I think so, that I've got it in the right spot, just under, just next to him. Shows that's him. It stands out. Doesn't take the main focus away from the title, which is good. And then underneath I was just a little tagline, the artist explodes out into the jazz world. I thought that was kind of catchy and make people want to look up the magazine and see what his music is and if they like it and they want to listen to it. The next thing I did, I made boxes to highlight the names because firstly I didn't have boxes and it looked a bit dull and a bit plain and didn't make the name stand out. So I used boxes to highlight them and then put little tags underneath them to show what the article would be about. The next thing I wanted to include win tickets to Cheltenham Jazz Festival. That shows that will make people want to pick it up and read the magazine because they have a chance of going to Cheltenham Jazz Festival and you can win tickets, you don't have to pay, so obviously they would want to go to that. And then next I did the what's it called again? Barcode. And first I didn't know where to get it from, but I got it from Davron, so that was good. And then just typed in the numbers. I put the issue number along the barcode because on the jazz magazine that I was looking at, I think it was Jazzwise, they had the issue number along there. I then did the bar at the bottom and showed what other artists were in the magazine. So then it will show there's quite a variety of artists in the magazine, so they'd want to see all of them. Then I next did the UK's biggest selling jazz magazine and then the price tag next to it, because then it shows that it's not, so it's cheap and it's the best selling jazz magazine, so that will make them want to buy it. So there, and then I had to just decide where it all fits in, and hopefully I think that went well. My contents page. This was a little harder because originally I was going to have a smaller picture with a person playing a flute and then pictures alongside of it to like show that I have different pictures. But then when I'm taking pictures of my friend, the picture was so like striking that I couldn't have any other pictures on there, which is now making my mark go down, so I have to add a picture in there just to show that I have loads more and more variety of pictures. The next thing I did, I used the writing around the face, so it shows that she's the main focus of the image. I did this way again, magazine, taking it from Jazzwise because in their contents page it's very plain, very simple. It just says Jazzwise across there. They only have one picture as well, so that was where my inspiration came from. They also had this along there, which shows the date and what it is. It's a contents page. So I thought that was simple and nice, and I thought it went well with the picture. And this, they had it straight along, but I thought it gave more of a quirky kind of jazz feel to it because it was slanted. So, and it just says it's more information, visit swaymagazine.com. So yeah, and then it has the artists along here and shows you what the article is going to be about and what's in the magazine. Like the news for Cheltenham Jazz Festival, live gigs, CD reviews, interview reviews, instrumental reviews, and letters if you want to write in and give your own opinion. So yeah, that's how I did it.
So do you want to tell me a bit about how you've used layers and then any other tools that you've used on Photoshop to produce your magazine?
So layers I found quite hard to use because I just couldn't. I didn't get it at first, but it became simple. With stuff, I often like using. Wait, let me get you. Where's Reggie? Let's zoom in and then I'm using. Right, so nudes there. I normally. Regulars, I'll do regulars. So you double click on it, and then I normally use this tool stroke because it shows, it makes it bold, so you see that. Obviously I wouldn't have it like that, but that's what it does to make it stand out, because without it you couldn't really see it as much. So if I just had it on 3, it just gives it a little bit of a highlight and makes you see it clearly. And I've done that throughout my magazine because I wanted them to be able to see the writing clearly, so that's what I did. I had to do these two differently because I was going to have it as one line of like one text, but I couldn't because I couldn't have 2 different writings, 2 different sizes and stuff. So I had to have 2 different tools there, layers there, which was quite confusing for me. But that was cool. And then there's so many layers, I'm a bit confused. Yeah, well anyway, sway, I had to do the same again. I used a stroke which highlighted the title of the magazine, making you know that it's Sway magazine. On this one, it's called Sway. This often happens. There's something wrong with Photoshop. Okay, well anyway, I used a shadow on CarlaGarratt. This made it highlight CarlaGarratt, made it seem more important, like because it had a shadow behind. You chose how far away it went from CarlaGarratt. You could choose how far to see how big the shadow was to show difference. But I chose there because it wasn't too far away, it wasn't too close, making it stand out. I also used a stroke arm for this again as well. That's my favourite thing. But yeah.
What about the tools on the tool palette? How have you used those effectively?
I don't know if it's not that one. The text box I've used quite often. I tried to use the gradient tool on this to make this brighter, but it didn't really work, so I didn't do that because it was quite hard to do. What else is there? But yeah, we did experiment with the cutting out tool around the person, but I didn't need it for this because it was a whole picture and I didn't need to cut anything out. But otherwise I would have used that. Really.
How effectively do you think you've used Photoshop to produce your magazine?
I think I've used it quite effectively because it shows, if you look closely at this, at my contents page, you can see the detail of within the writing and how it's like just the little things make a difference. Like the stroke really makes a difference because it makes you see it clearly, and the colours of the magazine, the colours and the stroke outside just makes it different. How I've made the picture brighter, that was quite. At first I was like, where is it? But I found it in the end, and it was literally so simple. And yeah, it's really good. So I think I have used it effectively.
If you were to improve this magazine, what techniques would you use with this new media technology?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Because you said you wanted to use a gradient tool, but you struggled with that one.
Because it was, I don't know. I wanted to make that brighter to make it more, but I think it's worked well here. I tried to also use it on a double page spread, but it didn't work again. Because it was hard to blend it when that's what I need to work on. It's blending it. I got the light bit and the dark bit at the end. It was just the middle bit that had a line through, so it didn't really work. But yeah, there wasn't. Yeah.